Good morning, everyone. BJ Stevens here with Finding Goosebump Moments. I'm going to jump right into this. Welcome to day one. I am talking to you today. This is day one of a 4 or 5 part series, and I'm offering some training on how to effectively communicate and taking that communications to connect with the audience or the person or the group or the team or whatever group of people you're talking to, how to communicate and connect with them. I have a ton of notes, so you're going to see me looking down, turning pages, and referring to those notes because I want to make sure that I'm communicating effectively with you. So let's jump right into this, okay? Shall we? First of all, thanks everybody for joining me either here live or on the replay. I so do appreciate that you've taken a few moments out of your day to learn and join me. I appreciate that more than you can understand. All right, let's start. You ready? Communication is not about what is said. Communication is all about what is heard. That's that connectivity to, as I said, your individual, your team, your group, your audience, your public, whatever it is that you're speaking to. It's not about what you say. It's all about how they hear it, what is perceived on their end. You've heard me, pardon me, you've heard me say 100 times, words matter. They do. And it's not having a full comprehension of the English language. That's not what I'm talking about. It's being able to simply communicate in an effective manner. The mark of a great communicator isn't what he or she says or knows. It's what the person hears and understands. You know, George Bernard Shaw is the person that is credited for saying the single biggest problem with communication is the illusion it's taken place. Now, I know you've heard that 100 times, but do you understand what he's saying? What he's saying is that the person who is talking assumes that everybody he's speaking to will understand what he means. And it's not true. You have to take you out of that communication process. It's all about them. It's all about connecting to that one person or that group or that team or that organization. It's all about them. It's never about you. Connecting in your communication, connecting can make or break you. People cannot succeed in life without communicating effectively. You know, how many times have you, I said, why do I even bother? People aren't listening. You know, what's the use? No one ever pays attention to me. Or I might as well be talking to that wall right there. No one is paying attention to what I said. I can promise you, I'll bet you half of you, if not all, have said that. If not about your children or your spouse, I bet you some of you have said that within your work environment or as you're presenting an idea. You get the feeling that everybody's spaced out, turned off the ears, nobody's around. Why is that? You take it personally. You are saying, nobody listens to me. That's not entirely true. It's not you. It's how you have communicated. Because if you do it correctly, at least 2 or 3 or 4 people are going to hear you. Connecting is key. Do you know that the schools don't teach connection? They don't teach the the communication. Yeah, they teach public speaking, but let me tell you something. After 35 years of teaching others how to be a better speaker, how to be a better presenter, like for salespeople, I can promise you, communication and speaking, public speaking, two totally separate genres. But we associate the two together. And if you take nothing away from this training, understand public speaking is not communicating. Not in the least. The only thing that they have in common is that when you get on stage, it's not about you. Your job as a public speaker is to communicate to the audience, connecting with them. So if you are a teacher, or you're a manager of a business, or you own your own business and you have employees, or you're a team leader, or you're a CEO, or whatever it is that what position you may hold in this world, understand it is never, can you see my passion here, guys? It is never about you. It is always about them. When you connect, whether it's the one-to-one or whether it's in the group, or whether you're talking to an audience, or even in your relationships with your children or your spouse, whether you're at work or whether you are a leader, a team leader, a supervisor, a manager, whatever it is, you have to connect with others at every level. Because when you do, your relationships get stronger. Your sense of community grows. Maybe you work for a nonprofit and you've been assigned to do a fundraiser. Getting those people that have been assigned under you, or said, yeah, I want to help you do that. Getting those people to give their very best is that's the connectivity. And you do that through how you speak to them, how your communication is perceived by them. It also makes making acquaintances easier. I can't tell you how many people say, I'm just not good at going into a strange place and introducing myself. Guys, you have to learn to get over that fear, and that's all it is. It's a fear. When you gain that confidence of being able to communicate on a higher level, you're not going to fear anymore. Okay, I'm talking about connectivity. So what exactly is connecting in communication? Well, let me give you a definition. It's the ability to identify with people and relate to them in a way that increases your influence with them. Now, let me tell you something. I teach leadership as well. And leadership is nothing more than influence. Nothing more, nothing less. We try and make it a big deal. But if you understand and comprehend that one thing, leadership is influence. Influence is connecting. And when you connect, you relate. You are relatable. And if you follow that formula, you're gold. You're absolutely gold. We try and make everything so complicated in this world. Follow that formula. Leadership is influence. Influence is connectivity. Connectivity is relatability. Okay? When you connect with others, you're positioning yourself to make the most of your skills and your abilities. Now, you've heard me also talk about talent and skills and abilities. Talents are something you're born with. But I can promise you, over 95% of you don't even realize that you have talent. I've seen, after 35 years, guys, of teaching this and working with individuals privately, working with companies and businesses and organizations, it never ceases to amaze me. It makes me smile when I walk in and somebody says, "Nah, I can't do that. I don't have the talent for that." I'm telling you, You don't know because you've never tried. So you have dormant talents that until you actually go out there and put yourself available, you're never going to know what you are talented in. Now, it doesn't have to be communication, it doesn't have to be leadership, and it doesn't have to be anything. Maybe you're just good at organization and you never realized it. You have to try. You have to get out there and not be afraid to tap into the possibilities. Now, your skills, I love talking about this because your skills are learned. There isn't a skill out there that any one of us cannot learn to do. Talent you're born with and have to discover. Skills are learnable. I don't care. I'm 64 years old. If I wanted to go out and learn how to weld, I have that ability. That's the ability to learn. So use your talents, discover your talents, develop your skill sets, and use that ability to open up the world. Explore what your potentiality is. That's the whole grand scheme of things. And when we're talking about communicating is something we all do. But learning how to effectively communicate and influence is a skill everybody needs to learn. Now, connecting through communication is the number one criteria for advancement and promotion in your job. Now, that's a quote from the Harvard Business Review. Several years ago, Harvard did a study, and it was a long-term study. They went out and they interviewed 1,600 people. Now, these people were CEOs, managers, supervisors, employment services, HR directors, anybody who was a person who interviewed individuals. Now, you know what they discovered? What they discovered were three things. No matter what line of work, it doesn't matter whether you're a street sweeper or the CEO of a company, no matter what line of work was involved, during the interview, every organization looks for three important factors of that person that is being interviewed. Now, you want to know what they are? Here they are. Right off the bat, they are looking for leadership potential. Now, even though you may be applying for an entry-level position, what they're looking for, they're looking into the future. They're looking for someone who has the confidence and the verbal skills. They're looking for someone who is organized in thought, who has planned, prepared, who is ready to take on new tasks. They're also looking for developed communication skills. How well can you communicate a thought, an idea? Communicate your creativity. Communicate what it is that you are looking for. The third thing is how well does the interviewee respond to questions asked in the interview. Now, I'm a former HR person, and I can without question tell you that even though a lot of those questions may seem contrived and stupid, they're designed for a purpose. When I interviewed a person, and I have to say I was an out-of-the-box interviewer because I don't buy into that, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years kind of mentality. Never bought into it, still don't. And when I talk to HR departments, I don't encourage it. It's a job specific. You are looking for skills and you're looking for education and experience in that particular position that you are hiring for. Yes, you want to know if they're compatible. You want to know if they are a team player, or do they prefer to work privately. Yeah, you do need to know those kind of things. But earmark your questions to their specific talent, skills, and abilities. And you can do that as someone who is interviewing if you take the time to read the resume. And that is probably 80% of issues that in HR departments that are not done. HR departments are so busy these days with junk, and I will tell you right out, junk. It's busy work, that if they don't sit down and read 40 resumes front to back, you're missing part of the whole interview process. I'm getting off on a tangent, so forgive me for that. But it's how that interview person responds to the question. That's how you connect. That's how you, as an interviewee, can show and express your creativity, your command of communicating, how you understand and have prepared for that job. Communication skills depends on that connectivity. Now, I'm going to give you a quote here. Former President Gerald Ford is quoted as saying the following: "If I went back to school, college, tomorrow, and I would focus all my attention and concentration, I would do it in 2 areas. 1, learning to write more effectively, and 2, learning to speak before others." Now, don't misunderstand that quote either. Nothing in life is more important than the ability to communicate effectively. That's the whole quote. Don't misunderstand this quote. Yeah, Gerald Ford was a politician. Yes, he spoke a lot. But the point here is he understood that communicating effectively transverses every job, every relationship, every position, everything that you do in life. It is that crucial. It is the one skill you always need to make. Now, when you are communicating to one or a group of people, let me share something with you, because I don't think that people in general understand this. Try this out. Everyone, meaning the people that you are speaking to, everyone has 3 questions before they agree to follow you, like you, trust you, and join you. Okay? 3 questions. Your audience is always saying, 1, do you care for me? Am I wasting my time? Is what I'm about to sign on or join into all about you? No, remember, it's never about you. But your audience is saying, do you really care about me? 2, can you really help me? If you communicate well, you make that connectivity, and you understand excellent leadership skills, and we're going to be talking about that in the future, you're going to be able to relay that, answer that question for them if you do it right. And the third thing, the most important thing is, can I trust you? They want to know if they sign on to your team or to your organization or join you in whatever it is that you're asking them to do. Can I trust you? Now, do you care for me? Can you help me? And can I trust you? When you approach your communication, your connectivity, and your leadership skills, and you keep those 3 questions in mind, you're gold, guys. You are absolutely gold. Let me check my notes here real quick here. When you learn to connect, you are positioning yourself to make the most out of your talents and abilities and skills, learned skills. No matter what your goals are in connecting with other people, you can help. You can actually help them. The ability to connect starts with understanding the value of others. That in itself is a whole nother topic that we can dive into at a later point in time. I want to share something else with you. Communication isn't about you. I said that. Communication isn't about you. Communication happens where it lands. Don't be determined not to listen to what others are feeding back to you. Part of the whole communication process is not only effective communication, it's effective listening. Now, I find this funny because when I go into groups, small groups or large groups or companies or organizations, and I begin my presentation, I smile. I absolutely smile. And it's almost, I have to be careful here because it's almost becoming a habit. But I do a quick survey of everybody. I take notice of their body language. And invariably, there is at least 3. I don't think I've ever seen just one. It's usually 3 or more people that when I walk into a room and I begin my introductions, somebody's introduced me and I begin my introductions, somebody's sitting like this. And I have to laugh because you know what they're doing? They're communicating negatively, but they're communicating and they're saying, teach me something I don't know. You're supposed to be the big shot expert. I've been doing this for 25 years. Tell me something I haven't learned or I don't know. What an attitude. What an attitude. Part of the communication process is being able to put aside what you think you know, what you perceive your expertise at. Being able to walk into a seminar or a convention or a training or even on a webinar. Watch your body language because it speaks volumes. If you come in with that attitude, I can promise you, you're laying down the gauntlet to that presenter. And that presenter knows. And they're going to be able to recognize your threat, your intimidation. Stop folding your arms. Stop giving off that facial expression. It makes me laugh because that means you have shut down your ears, you've closed your mind, you don't care. How can you learn when you have done all of that? The whole purpose, you spend money for the most part to go to these things. Why in the world would you spend, and in cases, a lot of money, why would you spend that money just to say, I'm not going to learn a damn thing? It cracks me up, guys. I notice, and if I notice, I can tell you, a lot of other people notice. So be very careful about how you approach the person who is trying to communicate with you. Always have an open mind because there's an old saying out there. You have to learn to unlearn in order to relearn what you should have known all along. It's just the most amazing thing. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And once I started being aware of it and started paying attention to it, it cracks me up. I promise you, whether it's a lunch and learn, a 30, 45-minute presentation, or it's a half a day presentation, somebody always does that. And don't forget, The first mistake every communicator makes, every leader makes when trying to speak to a group is that you're trying to look good. Don't look good. Be effective. Communicate effectively. I think that's all we have for today. I'm going to save some of this. We're going to delve, like I said, the next 4, maybe 5 days, we're going to delve into deeper in how you better communicate, effectively communicate, how you communicate to connect with others. I hope that you've gotten some value. I hope that you've learned something. And I would really appreciate if you make comments, and thank everybody for all the comments that you have given here. I so appreciate it. When I finish, I will respond to everybody. But if you got value, please like and share with someone that you think would enjoy this. And ask them to keep joining me every day. You can find this on my timeline at BJ Stevens, or you can also follow me in my professional group, which is Finding Goosebump Moments. Facebook and I are having a little issue, so the group is Finding Goosebump Moments, but I think Facebook is keeping it as Goosebump Moments. So whichever, please search for that page, because I will take this recording and I will add it to that page as well. So make sure you join me for the next 4 or 5 days. I'm here to plant seeds. I'm not asking you to buy into to logic or buy into a perception. What I'm trying to get you to do is to open your mind, take that seed of possibility, cultivate it, fertilize it, water it, and let's see if you can try it out and if it works. This isn't something you can learn overnight. I don't want to imply that it's that easy, but it is easy once you start applying what I am about to share and teach and start using it. It becomes habit, and that's something else. Just like any skill, to be good at what you do, you have to keep repeating it over and over again. So make sure that you take some of what I've said, use it, practice it, apply it, and make it a habit. And because I've seen it with my own eyes over the last 35 years, it will make a difference in your relationships, in your work environment, with whatever you do. It works. So, thanks so much for joining me, everybody. I do so appreciate all the time and attention you have given me, and I really do love you and appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll talk later tomorrow. Bye for now.